Hello again everyone. Well, I'm back out here in the garage, back on the motorhome brakes. I'm feeling much better now after my COVID vaccine hangover thing. So yeah, let's carry on cleaning the grease and the rust off this caliper. As always, please remember I am not a trained or qualified mechanic. These are just vlogs for entertainment purposes as you watch us try and keep our 1990 motorhome on the road. If you have any doubts about working on your own brakes, better to contact a qualified mechanic. Right, well, next I'm going to give the bores of the cylinders in the caliper a bit of a clean up with abrasive paper. I'm only going to use 400 grit. Doesn't look too bad in there, so just want to freshen it up a bit. Yeah, they don't really look so bad even before I have a go at them. So there we go. Now I have cleaned up the bores, I think, quite well. Now, just to make sure there's nothing left in the channels, I'm just going to squirt some brake cleaner through the bleed screw channels and through the sort of main line channels using Nurse Gladys's syringe here. Well, now I am going to paint these calipers, so I'm just going to mask off the bits where I don't want paint to get, the bits where moving parts are, where surfaces are bolted together. Now folks, I am going to paint the brake calipers. I've given up on the idea of that masking. I just couldn't get the masking tape to stick very well. I'm just going to be careful because I'm using a brush anyway, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem avoiding all the areas I don't want to get paint in. Now I am going with Halford's brake caliper paint, which says you can just paint it on, no primer or anything like that. So it is a high temperature paint, so obviously these can get hot as you use them, and I'm going for red, because as everyone knows, having red brake calipers is the easiest way to add extra horsepower to your vehicle. And it works even if, like in this case, you've got solid-ish steel wheels, so you won't really be able to see the red brake calipers underneath, but their magical effect will still be felt. Just like when you go out wearing your favourite red underpants for a night out. You know they're there, even if nobody else does. Well, I've let this dry for a bit while I had a cup of tea in the house with Nikki, and I think it does need a second coat. And the tin says touch dry within 20 minutes, recoat within an hour. Not sure when I put it on, but I think we're within that sort of time frame. So let's crack on, give it another coat. Yeah, look at that. I reckon that's got to be at least another 20 horsepower when we get those back on the van. Right, Mr. Ginge, I think it's probably time to go in and give you your dinner. What do you reckon? Yeah. Well, it's the next day, and not entirely happy with these. I think I'm going to give them another coat. Well, a couple of days later again, and we're back out here on this brakes job. But before we crack on with that, I've got a bit of an apology to make. People have been sending me their stickers in exchange for my stickers, and I've not stuck any on the van for quite a while. So I've just taken care of that. Let's have a look and see who we've got. Yeah, thanks for the reminder, Mr. Ginge. They were long overdue. So we've got Country Van Life TV over here. That's Stephen, and he's about to set off on a full-time van life adventure. So well worth keeping track of him. And he's also a little bit musical in recent videos. Then we've got Cheeky Monkeys TV. They're a very new channel, so pop over and give them some encouragement. And of course we've got the Camper Vibe crew, and we did take part in the Keep Fanny Rolling effort. I'm not sure Fanny actually is rolling yet, but hopefully well on the way to it. Then last but not least, we've got Pamela and Johnny's Motorhome Journeys, and yeah, another great channel, very entertaining couple, and Johnny is always fixing something in his motorhome, so definitely check them out as well. And links to all those channels will be in the description of this video. Anyhow, back to the matter in hand, and I am now satisfied with the finish on these brake calipers. It's not perfect, but they're going to be hidden anyway. So let's go and get our caliper rebuild kit. Well, there it is, and it's got all the bits and pieces we need in it. I think the first thing I'm going to do is the carrier, and you've already seen me do this actually before we discovered that we needed to do some more work. So I'm going to clean out these channels again with the rag, and then use the red rubber grease, put the pins in with some nice new rubber gaiters. So these rubbers are quite tricky to get on, but I think just sliding a very fine screwdriver up just to help ease them over. Just make sure, obviously, you don't damage the rubber in the process. That is the risk. Right, so there is our carrier done. Now, of course, it's the turn of the rest of the caliper. And the first thing to do is to put in the caliper seals. We'll just give the inside of the boards another quick wipe just to make absolutely sure there's no rubbish left in there. I'm going to lubricate the seals with some brake fluid just to keep things lubricated in there. Definitely wear gloves for this because brake fluid can be pretty harsh. Make sure that's seated nice all the way around, not twisted or anything. You can see the brake fluid is attacking the paint a little bit on the caliper. Need to try and not get any on there if I possibly can. So a good double check of those seals, make sure they look alright all the way around. They all look okay. Now of course we have the piston seals. Now this is the rim that goes in there, so easiest thing perhaps is to put that in first. Is it? I think it is. Doesn't seem particularly keen on being properly seated all the way around. That's it. And what I'm going to do is pass the piston through. This might be a bit of a half-assed way of doing it, perhaps. But, maybe it is. Maybe we'll put the seal on the piston first. I actually do think it would be better slide that down. Now this is the way to do it. Slide that down. No, this definitely got to go in first. Yeah, to do this successfully, you just need 25 very small fingers. Ah! Right, I've had a rethink. Actually got this nice little thing of grease, which I believe is for greasing the piston. It's just red rubber grease, the same as before, but I think it probably won't hurt just to have a very fine film of grease on there. Right, I'm going to try again by getting the seal on the piston first. Can actually rotate the seal a bit just to check everything is in the right place, and I think it is. I think I've managed it. Let's push that all the way in. That was a challenge though. Right, hopefully the larger one will be easier. unfortunately we have got a little lip there which I hadn't noticed, and of course it's almost impossible to get this have to try and get the piston back out again a little bit, I think. Fiddling like this, you've got to be really careful not to damage the rubber. It's really got to come out, hasn't it? The lesson here, folks, really is not to push it in until you're absolutely sure. A good lesson in any part of life, perhaps. Okay, so let's get that properly in. A few greasy marks around there. I want to clean that off with some so what I'm going to do now is just put some copper grease onto the bleed nipples. Just pop the bleed nipples back in just loosely for the moment, so that A, I don't lose them, and B, you don't get any rubbish go in there. Just a little tiny dab of the copper grease, mind, only on the threads. I only put them in finger tight at the moment anyway. For some reason they've only given us one dust cap. Poor show. Oh, so look at that, folks. What a lovely looking brake caliper it is now. Seems almost a shame to put it back on the van and get it dirty. Well, I guess that's about as far as we're going to get until the hoses arrive, because I need to put everything back together to turn it round to do the other side. If I had a little bit more space, I could start the other side now, but yeah, I really got to finish one side before I can do that. So let's hope those hoses arrive soon, eh? Well, that's all for now. If you enjoyed it, press like, subscribe if you want to see some more, and ring the bell to be notified when we upload something new.